Okay, it's 7:09 p.m. and I hereby call to order the April 2021 meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. And before we rise for the pledge, I'd like to welcome our new colleague, Peter Baldino, who was just elected to his first term here on the village board. We're really thrilled to have you, Peter, so welcome. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Village Clerk's report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Okay, yes. So in the past month, there were 3 payrolls that have been processed. 641 trash tags were sold. And our deputy clerk continues to assist the planning and the zoning boards, either here in the building or also remotely.
Thank you. Trustees, in your binders, we have 3 sets of minutes to approve. We have the March 17th regular meeting, the March 24th special meeting, and the last week's public hearing on the budget. Is there a motion to approve all 3 sets of minutes?
So moved.
Is there seconded by Israeli? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the treasurer's report. This month in the general fund, the A fund, we spent $33,283.30. That is also our grand total, $33,283.30. I want to thank Treasurer Day. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Peter seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're at the point in the agenda where we normally have a zoning report. I'm pleased to say we've just started with a new building inspector, code enforcement officer. She was sworn in last Friday, and I want to welcome Larissa DeLongo to the Village of Tivoli. Very much looking forward to working with her. So she's a couple days in, and we weren't going to hit her up for a monthly report just yet. I want to let her settle in a little bit, but we'll have her first vote next month, so looking forward to that. I also want to say at this time, I know a lot of people have been waiting patiently for services from the Tivoli Building Department, and it's been very challenging to keep a person in that role around here lately. I'm aware of that, and we work very hard to fill it. And I just want to thank all those folks for their patience, because and I'd like to thank you as well, Clerk Bruno, because you're the one taking the calls. So thanks for holding the front line for us while we get it together. So welcome to the recess. Normally we would have public comment on agenda items. Since we don't have the public, I'll just say that technically, though it doesn't look like one, this is yet another annual reorganizational meeting. A little weird this year because last year's elections were delayed by many months, so we did a reorg in October, and we're already back doing one here in April, and neither of them are the traditional Tivoli reorg, when we have cake and speeches and awards and lots of fun stuff. But we're still in the pandemic here, so it's going to be brass tacks, and we're going to get through these resolutions related to the annual reorganization. We'll start with the adoption of the reorganizational package. So, trustees, that is the package that we went through earlier during the workshop. Contains the schedule of meetings and everyone who serves on our planning board, ZBA, the several committees, paper of record, the village attorney and the village engineer, backup village engineer, etc. Clerk Bruno, as we discussed, we marked up a couple things, so I'll follow up with you of what we're actually approving here tonight.
Sure.
And with that, is there a motion to adopt the reorg packet?
So moved.
Schneider, is there a second?
Second.
Lisa Zarate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I just want to thank everyone who serves in the village in any capacity, because we're a small, scrappy place, and it takes everybody pitching in and leaning in to make this village work. And some of us are paid a little something, and lots of our volunteers are actual volunteers. And the time and the heart and the commitment they bring to it is deeply, deeply appreciated. So I just want to recognize them at this time. Next, we have a resolution relating to the annual reorg. We went over this also in the workshop. This contains, the official newspaper, the bank. We have our mileage rate in here, check signing powers, etc. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution relating to the annual reorganization?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Do a roll call vote, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Ezrati?
Aye.
Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
And Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. And the resolution is adopted. Next, we have a resolution relating to the readoption of the Code of Ethics. We just went through this, read it again, as we do. This is important stuff, and we take it very seriously. Is there a motion to adopt the Code of Ethics?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Ezrati?
Aye.
Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. As I said, we're going to skip over the budget mods, which are on the agenda here. We're going to have quite a lot next month, it being the last month of the fiscal year. And yours truly, the budget officer, has a lot of work to do to get those ready for you guys for next week or next month. So we'll sink our teeth into that in a month. And lastly, we have, having finished with the reorg related stuff, we have the adoption of the 2021-2022 operating budget. We had our required public hearing last Wednesday. We are raising taxes 1.3%, staying under the tax cap as we have every year that there's been a tax cap. Broadly speaking, this is approximately $13.30 for your average household in Tivoli. We never like raising taxes, but obviously this is an annual weighing of the pros and cons. But that's what we got to do to make the revenues work out such that we can keep up with a lot of our contractual obligations, benefits for our employees, trying to give everyone who works around here a modest raise as we do, and other costs obviously going up all around. We don't want to talk about 2x4s and plywood, but something like 180%.
Yep.
So I want to thank the board for their work on this budget. I think it's a good one, and with that, I'll ask for a motion to adopt the 2021-2022 operating budget.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Ezrati?
Aye.
Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
And I also vote aye, and our budget is adopted for the coming year.
Good work, Budget Officer.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm doing it long enough now, it does get easier every year. The numbers are always scary. I think for a small community like this, somehow you figure it out every year, but when I do look down the road, if you look out 10 years and you think how are small municipalities going to survive, it's pretty daunting. And the number one driver of that has got to be how health insurance is handled in this country. When you see health insurance is going up, double digits, and you're in a tax cap, where you want to be, where you stay down around 1% a year, it doesn't add up if you look too far out. So I try to keep my nose down 1 year at a time. So far, so good, but it's something that really needs to be thought about in this country. In all these discussions, you hear a lot about how it affects, individual Americans and their families, but I don't hear much conversation about municipalities. I can't imagine in a city with their thousands of employees. I mean, it's not sustainable, so I hope we can figure that out. But Tivoli hangs on. All right, our next board meeting will be held Wednesday, May 19th at 7 p.m., preceded by a workshop at 6 p.m. here at the historic Wassapeister Hall. And we'll have a regular workshop on May 12th at 7 p.m. Moving on to committee reports, Trustee Ezrati.
I just started a comment. Our fire department this past year has done a wonderful job of recruiting new firefighters. So this past year, but this year, we have submitted LoSAP requests, or 26 firefighters have met the requirement for the LoSAP payment. The LoSAP program is a length of service award program that awards firefighters who earn 50 points on a system that measures their participation in training, meetings at the firehouse, going to actual fire events, etc. And when you reach that, then the Village of Tivoli puts $500 into an account in your name that is held and accrued through a rather nice investment program with RBC Wealth Management. And when you reach 65, you get that award. And so to have 6 more people than we've had for the last 10 years actually participating in that is it's a good thing. We're still working on solid waste and coming up with a plan to make that program a little more efficient and cost effective. And that's about it.
Thank you, Trustee Ezrati. Trustee Schneider.
Certainly. So the Tivoli Village Court charge volume summary report for the month of March. There were a total of 18 charges received and 4 charges disposed. Money collected and remitted to the state comptroller was in the amount of $290. And again, my thanks, as always, to Court Clerk McGarry for putting together that report for us.
Thank you, Trustee Schneider. So Trustee Baldino, here's another thing that I didn't maybe prepare you for as much as I wish I had as I sit here at this moment, but
Hey!
throw in the deep end. So you may not have a particular report on these this evening, but as you see, we take turns and discuss anything. So we want to give every trustee the floor. So if there's anything you'd like to discuss or tell us about, please do.
I think I will wait until next.
Okay.
Say.
Wise man. Okay. Thank you. Deputy Mayor Major.
Let's see, the library, as always, check the website, there's great things going on, and I just want to tout interlibrary loan, because my daughter Violet is now obsessed with Twilight, and finished the first book, and was almost immediately able to get a copy delivered here from the Morton Library in Rhinecliff. Which is great, because Team Edward is very strong down at 65 Montgomery Street. So, yes, go libraries.
Great.
In terms of historic things, Claremont has a virtual program on Saturday at 11 o'clock, and it is a Palatine cooking demonstration. And the Palatines were, sort of the first giant wave of immigrants to come to America in 1710. And I would like to give a shout out to somebody who probably hasn't had a shout out in a very long time, if ever, and that is my great-great-great-great-great-great-great grandmother, whose name was Gertie Dings. And her baptismal record says that she was born April 6th, 1713, on the White Clay Hill, and baptized at the Central Camp in Germantown.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Really?
Palatine flavor is dear to my heart. So that's Saturday at 11 a.m. In other sort of historic outdoorsy news, the Montgomery Place grounds are open for strolling. Bathrooms are not open, so plan accordingly. And May 1st is the 10th annual Riverkeeper Sweep. And this is going to be in conjunction with the Rotary this year as well. The main gathering point is going to be down at the end of Broadway, down at the river, 10:30, Saturday, May 1st, and that coincides with the tide dropping, so we'll be able to get maximum debris. But also, this is an opportunity to really think about the fact that, you know, the whole village is, you know, a drainage point. Anything, you know, if you drop your disposable mask, for example, outside Santa Fe, it's gonna blow down and end up in the river. If you drop, you know, your coffee cup on Kid Lane as you're heading for the bays, that's gonna end up in the creek, and it's gonna end up in the river. So if you wanna come and pick up garbage anytime, any day, it's always a good time to pick up trash. But if you wanna do it in a sort of semi-structured, safely distanced community way, May 1st is the day to do it, and, you know, anywhere in the village you want to pick stuff up is great. But, as always, be aware of ticks, and the poison ivy is out now, too. So, happy spring, everyone.
I also want to announce to everyone that in addition to all the hats you already wear, you are also now officially, as of this evening, the village historian in Tivoli. So it's been coming to you. You have been, whether you have the title or not, for quite some time. So I'm glad we caught up with that. And thanks for getting us all excited about the history we have here. And I know you're just completely generous when someone comes to you, and they probably can't get you to stop a lot of the time. So that's how we know you're the right person for the
Yeah,
job.
try to stop me.
So congratulations and thank you, Emily.
Indeed, I'm honored.
Well, I'm sure I wanted to do this since we don't have Trustee Cole with us this month to do this. Please clean up after your dogs. It has been a problem around the village. So it's your dog and it's your poo. And you can't just leave it in a nice little baggie on the side of the sidewalk. That doesn't work either. So please, 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 take it home, find a place for it. We'd appreciate it. Our LWRP update, which was a $50,000 grant we got a year or more ago, I guess it was before the pandemic broke, is back, and we've had some virtual meetings with the consultants and our little committee, and that is, according to the Department of State, a 5-year process. We think it may be a little less, maybe in the 4-year range. It's going to be a long, slow, thorough process, but it's back on the front burner after a long disruption this year. And at some point, in quite a few months from now, maybe six-ish months, there's going to be a series of public meetings, which hopefully will happen in some sort of in-person, we don't know yet. And we're going to be talking a lot about trying to get everyone's participation. When we listed the list of stakeholders, we listed many, but we also listed every resident and business in the village. So literally everyone in Tivoli, the whole village is in the waterfront area as recognized by the LWRP, and it's going to be it's a planning process, and the community can talk about what kind of community it thinks it is and wants to be into the future. So look to that. We'll be telling you more every month, I'm sure. I want to thank DPW, who are doing some great work on the side of this building, where once again we found an excellent use for some of the bluestones that came from the old walk on Woods Road up to St. Paul's. Is that a Livingston sidewalk, essentially?
It was probably a DePeister sidewalk. Either he or Livingston. That was their land.
So we were able to, a lot of those stones, we started picking on them and, repurposing them for the Elrow installation over here on North Road for the Industrial Home for Girls stone. And a whole bunch of them had to come up during the water main. Contractor was nice enough to move them for us, thank you. And we're using them to redo this path on the side of this building. They're much better stones than what had been there. And DPW is doing a really nice job laying them out, so. Sure, everyone would like to know about the water project status, so that's my main bit of information tonight. I did send out an email the other day based on the latest information from the contractor, which is that the restoration should be complete by the end of April. Never say for sure. We had quite some rain today, so these things are weather dependent, but it's not going to be months is the point. And again, I know it's been very disruptive for a lot of people and businesses and their customers, but the point is to have dependable water infrastructure. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If you lose a couple weeks in April, but then you're good for 50 years, that's the idea. So the paving will be going on this week and next as they repave the south lane of Broadway from Woods all the way to McKnight. Every place the sidewalk got cut, they're restoring the sidewalk panels. They've done a lot of those. I've got a lot of compliments from residents about the job that Luizzi Brothers are doing. They're quite fast and efficient, and they move along, and they do a pretty darn good job of cleaning up at the end of the day and not leaving things horrible until they return the next day. So, I've heard that break eggs to make an omelet more times than I can count this month. But it's very true, that's why it's a proverb. So a couple more weeks, hang in there, and it's going to be great to have that all done. It's been a long time since anyone tried to put 5,600 feet of water main in this village. So it is, it's different this year, and we understand that, and we appreciate your patience. On the tower, the new tower, the logos, the Tivoli logos, which are painted 3 times in the round, should be going up next week. Again, that's very dependent on rain and wind and things. And then they will start filling the tower in May. And there's a pretty long period of testing the pressure, testing the quality and the chemicals. And so it sits for quite a while before it's brought online, but generally right now we believe that in June that will be where your water is stored, if all goes well. And then in July comes the painful moment we've all been thinking about for many years now, which is in July, they're scheduled to dismantle the 1938 tower. I think I said already, there's going to be a large safety fence around about half of the park, basically the basketball court all the way to the community garden. And the ramp will be offline, the half pipe. And it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to do the dismantle. All the steel is being scrapped. Steel is up right now, which is nice. And that revenue is going, back in to offset the overall project cost. There have been many wonderful, very Tivolian creative ideas about what could be done with the old tower, but that's what's happening with the old tower. And I just want to say how great it's been seeing all our daffodils that we worked on. They're up right now, they're peaking, it's beautiful, and it's particularly nice. I don't know, it's tough. I like coming in on foot from Memorial Drive into the park. That's really great, but I walked down the river this morning. They're great down on Broadway. They're great on Monument Hill. So we didn't plant any last fall for the same reason we didn't do so many things, but we'll be planting some more. We've done 6,000 and let's go for 10, why not?
Absolutely.
All right, so that's me. Anything else from the board, trustees? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second? All right, Peter. All in favor? He wants to stay and keep going. Aye. All right, thanks, folks. 7:35, we're adjourned.